Are you into clowns, trapeze artists, and giant cats?
Then stay tuned. We'll take you inside the Kinoshita Circus and show you some other high-flying acrobats unique to Okinawa. All in this edition of Hai Sai Okinawa.
Welcome to Hai Sai Okinawa. I'm Gabriel Archer.
And I'm Kathy Millette.
Japan and the United States each have their own unique histories and traditions, but sometimes the two share common ones.
The circus is one of those. Each country has a long history of circus tradition that shares similarities as well as differences. The Kinoshita Circus is in town in Okinawa and offers a look at circus, Japanese style.
Lions, acrobats, clowns. It all means one thing. The circus is in town. The Kinoshita Circus is the oldest circus in Japan and is the second oldest circus in the world. Kinoshita Circus is celebrating its 110th anniversary this year. It offers a unique opportunity to see a true, traditional Japanese-style circus. It is also the only circus in Japan to feature wild animals as performers. This show features all the acts we're familiar with, such as acrobats, magicians, even stunt riders. It also showcases acts that are unique to Japan. In addition to the Japanese performers, other acts represent nations from around the world, including two death-defying brothers from Germany, as well as clowns that hail from the United States. We were lucky enough to get a chance to check out a rehearsal and speak with two of the performers to get a taste of just what it is that sets Kinoshita Circus apart from all the others. Our interviewees also gave us an inside look at life in the Japanese circus.
I read a magazine article at the age of 9 in what was then known as National Geographic World Magazine, and it was about clown college that Ringling Brothers used to have, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, to go to a place and spend 10 to 12 weeks learning the basics, the ins and outs of circus clowning, and then possibly when you're done, receive a contract to tour with Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, and so that was first planted at the age of 9.
I got started in college. My mom had her wedding in Vegas, her second wedding, and we saw a Cirque du Soleil show when we were there, and I was like, oh, this is the perfect blend of sport and art and theater all together to make this beautiful piece that everyone, the audience, the people that are making it, feel like they created something gorgeous.
While with Ringling Brothers, we had heard and met people who had performed with Kinoshita Circus before, American clowns, former Ringling clowns who'd performed on Kinoshita Circus. And so that was always something spoken about in whispers. That was something cool, maybe I could do that. I wonder how you get to do that.
Kinoshita Circus is definitely based on European and American style, but they have their own Japanese flavor to it, which is refreshing in a way.
It's not like any circus that you've seen before. You know, you see one circus, you haven't seen them all.
Some of the traditional Japanese acts are really neat because I haven't seen them before I came here. They're based, like there's a fireman act that's based on a traditional fireman climb they do in Japanese culture, but they have a circus version of that, and it's quite impressive when they do it. And the trapeze act is, it's nice moving. It goes quick, so it's nice to, it's got a good flow. The whole show flows pretty well.
The Kinoshita Circus, for starters, is a one-ring show, and it performs under a tent. And it's more, what it is more intimate because the audience is closer. So it feels, in many respects, that the interaction, the exchange of energy and attention is a lot quicker, a lot more immediate.
The crowds are very different than American crowds in the way that they just have so much joy. like innocent joy at the show. American crowds are a little bit jaded. They're like, we've seen everything. You have to amaze us. But Japanese audiences are like, oh, this is the part, watch this now. So they have so much joy in watching it, and they'll do anything you tell them to, which is great.
My favorite thing about being in this circus is the different performing environment. It's a welcome challenge and a helpful challenge to me as a performer to work across a language barrier, and also to learn empirically that the language barrier really is insignificant if you stay true to what you're doing, if you stay true to the basics of performance, the basics of clowning.
The most fun for me as a clown is being able to bridge that gap between the audience and us, the circus. It's not a theater, it's not a movie, you are a part of our show, and the show definitely changes with what the audience does and how they react and the faces we see out there, and the more fun they have, the more fun we have, and we want them to feel like we created this beautiful moment together, and that's the clown's job, and that's my favorite part of it. The lions at 2 a.m. like to roar at each other. So when your house is 10 yards away, it definitely wakes you up, and they kind of just, oh, but this is deep, and your whole container kind of goes, So 2 a.m. lion roars, those are exciting. Zebras chasing each other in their pen. Masai, who's our giraffe, he's usually our neighbor, the clown's neighbor, and he likes to come over and see what you're having for breakfast if you go outside. Kind of, is that carrot for me? He's a sweetheart, though. In circus, you have to care for your animals because they're your friend and they're your life, and I mean, I don't work with our animals, they're just kind of my friends, but they're an important part, and just as important as any performer, if not more.
By all means, when I saw Kinoshita Circus for the first time, I personally did not know that there was a tradition of circus in Japan at all.
The Japanese circus workers work so hard. I'm impressed by them every day. They're nonstop. So yeah, they'll do an act, and then they'll go and tear down the props, and they'll go out and sell concessions, and then they'll come back and set up the lion cage, and then do another act, and you're just like, how are you standing?
But Kinoshita Circus is one of the oldest standing linchpins of circus tradition in Japan. So if you come to Kinoshita Circus, that's another glimpse, another piece of Japanese culture to experience. It's different than American circus, it's different than seeing Cirque du Soleil. This is circus in Japan, inspired definitely by European tradition and American tradition, but completely Japanese. There are acts that are based in Japanese tradition that have been on this show, on the Kinoshita show, in one form or another for decades. And the Kinoshita Circus itself has been going on for 110, 112 years.
For Hai Sai Okinawa, I'm Joe Andes.
We'd like to thank the Kinoshita Circus for allowing us to film and showcase their unique acts. You can get tickets to the circus by contacting MCCS Tours Plus.
Circus acts aren't the only high flyers on Okinawa. We went to the Okinawa Zoo to see another famous Okinawan icon, the bat.
You've probably all seen them, the very large creatures that inhabit the skies of Okinawa at night. While many people are intimidated by their size, you'll see that they're actually quite friendly.
If you've been on Okinawa for even a few days, you've probably seen them hanging around. Bats, very large bats. They are known as Okinawan flying foxes, an apt description as their size resembles larger mammals rather than birds. Although these bats usually weigh less than 2 pounds, their wingspans often reach lengths of more than 3 feet. The Okinawa Zoo is home to some of these creatures and offers a unique chance to get a close-up look at these animals in the daylight. They have a lifestyle that is somewhat unique to other bats.
There are 2 general types of bats, megabats and microbats. These are megabats and have large eyes and use them to search for food. They don't use sonar and have smaller ears. Microbats use sonar and have a flatter face. They use their large ears to catch the echo of the sonar.
To many Americans, bats are associated with vampires and other rather sinister legends.
Children have a scary image of the bats, but when they get to see them up close, they say the bats are cute.
In fact, this baby bat seemed more like a kitten or puppy rather than something associated with Bram Stoker stories or horror movies. Okinawan flying foxes are known for their large eyes as well as size. They use their eyes to see at night and do not possess the sonar-like capabilities of other bat species. They pretty much spend their time searching for food, eating that food, and hanging around. Although they're curious about people and will watch them, they rarely interact with other animals or humans. There are no cases on record of these animals ever attacking someone.
Rabies are not a problem in Japan, and there aren't any reported cases of rabies infection from a bat.
While the Okinawa Zoo is a great place to see these creatures, you don't need to go far from your home to get a look. They're common throughout Okinawa both on and off base. While Okinawan flying foxes may not be as well known as shisa, soba, or habus, they're definitely something you'll remember long after you leave the island. For Hai Sai Okinawa, I'm Joe Andes.
What was it like to pet a bat?
They're actually really cute and cuddly, and their fur is like a puppy's, and he was even closing his eyes when you'd like scratch behind his ears. Really cute.
Nice. Who knew you could pet a bat? To find out more about bats or other Okinawan animals, check out MCCS's Best of Okinawa Living book or our monthly magazine, Okinawa Living.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next month.